Conan O'Brien was still on the big channel. Vandy in the home white. Auburn in the row blue, and an early scrum. An early redo. We can take a mulligan on the jump ball. We almost had to do it again.
Tom, it's 11 a.m. for the officials, for these players, and for you and I. Although that run to Starbucks, I appreciate it. Very generous of you to buy my drink this morning.
You live your life as a triple venti, so you didn't really need it as much as others did. Okiki's been fantastic for Auburn. Kicks it back out to Bryce Brown. A guard-oriented team. Auburn gets the majority of their points from behind the arc. Shot clock is now at 5. Harper leaves it, and a left-handed 3 from Anthony McLemore is no good. And then Vandy loses the rebound. So on they haven't won a conference game yet.
I didn't hear you. I was looking at my Instagram.
I noticed that.
I'm just kidding.
You should follow Sean Farney
if you're Bryce Drew, because you haven't won a game of conference play, and this is where people start. Islands start being formed, right?
Oh, islands.
Like
in the stream.
I'm going to listen to my crew, and I'm listening to my guys, and I'm listening to my AAU coach, my high school coach. You got to put all that aside, and you got to just stay together and believe in the process.
The triple six in the SEC in scoring. And the all-time all-time Auburn leader in threes.
Well, and that's a great sign, because he came off of a game where he just flat out struggled. He was 1 of 7 from beyond the arc and 2 of 12 versus Ole Miss.
He and Harper struggled from behind the arc. Kermit Davis's team did a great job muddying up the tempo in that one. Won it 60-55. Auburn on the run. Samir Dowdy thought Pat Driscoll was open, and he was.
Turnovers. They don't create the same amount of turnovers that they do at home, which helps their offense out a ton. You have an opportunity to get a run out. If the defensive transition is good, just jump stop. Pull the ball back out and reestablish and get a good offensive possession. Don't just throw it out of bounds.
Vandy has some positives going on the offensive end. Saban Lee and Aaron Neesmith, who's coming off of a career-high 26 in their loss at Florida on Wednesday. Here's Matt Ryan, bothered by an ankle injury, but giving it a go today. Sorry, still not awake. Okiki gets it inside. Wiley just entered off the bench, and he has it blocked. Blocked by...
Right?
Yes.
But they have competed in a majority of those games.
They've lost 12 in a row, including a blowout on the road at Oklahoma. They're nearing the program record for consecutive losses, which dates back to the mid-30s.
Well, that's not good.
Here's Saban Lee. Outside for a 3 and off the mark. And you look at Vandy's struggles in conference play. They're scoring.
And it speaks also, again, to what's not here. And it's easy for everybody at home to be like, well, you can't make excuses. Well, when your best player, your best passer, your best shooter, your best scorer is all wrapped up in one guy.
And the best recruit in school history in Darius Garland.
Is one guy, and he's missing basically the entire season. And we're playing just a limited amount of games in a small sample size. Still projected to be a top 6 pick in the NBA draft. That's not replaced.
Might be a parallel to the way Rick Barnes built that Tennessee program, because all of these guys getting experience as youth will be the backbone for this program going forward. They were a 500 team. Grant Williams and Admiral Schofield just a couple years ago.
How about the words that Bryce Drew continued to repeat over and over again about his team? Foundation and culture. Foundation and culture. Our culture is healthy. And to the credit for these players, they haven't stopped competing. It's tough when you're going through a season and you're taking a lot of L's.
Yeah. Semisola Shitu on one side gets a bucket for Vandy. Auburn with a very slow start. Just 1 for 5 from the floor. Jared Harper for 3. Most prolific backcourt duo from a scoring perspective in the SEC. Harper and Brown have combined for Auburn 6. Vandy able to get it in, and Saban Lee, sophomore from Phoenix, will bring it up.
The flip side, talk about Auburn, 16-8. We're talking about a 7 seed, and there are people that are disappointed. And I think that's the greatest compliment you could give Bruce Pearl. Where was this program a couple years ago? Bottom of the barrel in the SEC, and now has worked its way up to the expectation level of moving forward and being one of those teams that should finish in the top half every single year.
The 5-year RPI average before he took over was second worst among Power 5 teams.
Only TCU was worse. What do you think? It's 253?
Sounds about right. Here's Brown. Contested three. Barely drew iron.
Yeah, that's one he's got to turn down.
Vandy chance to run, and Brown during a luncheon this December. And so our sympathy to his family and the Vanderbilt family for the loss of David Williams. Simisola Shitu at the free throw line. Slow start offensively to this one, Sean.
But expected. I think tempo right now, you've got to favor Vanderbilt. You're not seeing Auburn get out in the open floor. And look, they've started the game just 2 for 7. The defensive effort's good and strong early.
Or Spencer working hard to post up. Nothing there. Jared Harper will step into a three. Mentioned earlier, Auburn gets the majority of its points from the three ball. They live and die by it, and sometimes that might be an indicator of how hard it is to succeed on the road. Turned over by Lee. 3-on-2. Harper. And a three ball from Okiki.
That's all starts because of Saban Lee with the ball in his hands. I mean, literally, Tom, he just dropped it. I mean, it's like last night we were in here shooting, and I was going to shoot a shot from the seats, and I looked up and I was like, what did Tom just do? I mean, it was, and I know you were pulling back because you saw me shooting. You didn't want to disrupt the ball and the chance for an opportunity for my shot to go in. But you got to put something on that pass.
I'm playing injured, Sean. Here's Matt Ryan. He's playing hurt. Throws it off the rim. There's some.
And that is score in transition.
Producer Ian Gruca last night, and this guy knows how to find the hot spot. Local only to this great city of Nashville, has so many fantastic restaurants. I don't know if you've heard of the place called P.F. Chang's, but it was big time. Here's Okiki.
I mean, I was looking at Kane Prime. I was like, can we go down to Kane Prime? Hey. No?
I mean, there are so many restaurants to choose from. You're like going to New York and getting a slice from Sbarro. Knocked away, and
great effort.
It'll go.
You want to win games on the road? Those are the little things, by the way, that show up in the box score. Third turnover, by the way, for Vanderbilt. But those are the little things that show up in the box score that don't show up in the box score that help you win games.
Still thinking about the P.F. Chang's last night.
You got pot stickers stuck in your mind. Straight up defense by Yanni Wetzel. Out of Auckland, New Zealand. They have P.F. Chang's there. Here's Simisola Shitu. Wetzel finds it. And back out to Saban Lee. Straight ahead three for the Surfer Boy. Did you find early starts tough? I mean, this is an 11 a.m. local start for both of these teams.
No,
Spencer?
I loved it, actually. You know, I'm a morning guy. That shouldn't come as a surprise to you, Tom. You've known me long enough. But I get out of bed and I'm on fire right from the start. So I enjoyed getting out and getting the opportunity to play. I'd rather have an early morning game than an 8 p.m. game on a Saturday.
Huh.
Now, obviously on a weekday, you get used to the start time. But on a Saturday, you're just sitting around all day long. You're watching other games. You're playing video games. You're doing whatever you can do just to rest and lay low all day long versus getting after it early and then having the rest of your day. And the strength that he has and finding a way to make a difference in the paint. And obviously Bruce Pearl did too.
9 points and 4 boards a game. First free throw attempt. Noon tilt.
Oh, how about Hattie B's on the way out to the airport?
We can do both. So far, neither one of these teams playing like hot chicken. Auburn has missed its last 5 field goal attempts.
Tom, are you hungry? As much as you're talking about food, my man. I thought you had breakfast this morning.
Wetzel trying to post up. Size advantage with McLemore. 6'11 versus 6'7 inside. Neesmith got tied up, got rid of it, shot like a 5. Wetzel on the cut, lost the ball.
You just got to catch it. You just got to catch the ball. I mean, that's a great cut, great pass. It's like a wide receiver looking to see if the safety's coming. He was looking to get into his shot so quick that he didn't catch the ball.
It's not like Ronnie Lott's out there. Here's a 3 ball off the side of the rim. Auburn 1 for 9, and they haven't made a bucket in 4 minutes. So a line change coming for Bruce Pearl at the next dead ball.
We talked about this. If Ronnie Lott was playing in today's NFL with his hits, how much would he be suspended or fined? Instead of being one of the all-time greats, he'd been
go. Missed time due to admitting to taking payments for the NCAA infraction. And he came back to a team that was guard heavy, featuring Harper and Brown. And I wonder how a guy not only trying to knock the rust off, but trying to regain his confidence can find that talent again.
Well, part of the problem is the talent of the team has improved too. So when he came to Auburn, there wasn't as much talent and as much depth as you see right now. And this is a team that set an identity a year ago when it was the co-champions during the regular season in the SEC.
Nesmith beats the buzzer. First, second chance points for Vandy tonight.
You mentioned coming off that great game against Florida, 26 points, 9 rebounds. He has played very well. Has 4 20-point games this season, including 24 against Tennessee.
He was in South Carolina.
His lift was good. His release focused on the rim, shoulders squared.
Here's Malik Dunbar up the curl. Wow. Looked like Ian Gruka shooting last night. Tried to go with a bank shot. Meanwhile, nothing doing on the other end for Vandy. Here comes Auburn the opposite way.
In case any of you are wondering, Ian Gruka is our producer.
And little floater goes for D'Angelo Purifoy.
I think that's where he can make a difference for Auburn. Right? I mean,
that's certainly what they're missing.
Right. Just the little drive off the top from the mid post out in the three-point line and a little floater. He doesn't have to play with his back to the basket. He doesn't have to be a post-up guy. Bruce's best teams, whether it was here at Auburn last year or go back to some of those Tennessee teams, the ones with Dane Bradshaw, they were smaller teams that were quick.
A hook and a hold. Cost Vandy here against Tennessee. They've had leads in a lot of SEC games despite not having a win yet. Double-digit leads multiple times. They're up 6 against Tennessee with 1:32 when a hook and hold was called to put Grant Williams back at the free throw line. Shot clock at 1. Another forced shot and an air ball.
All through, I think it's vitally important that he gets 5 guys back and forces Auburn to play at this much slower tempo than what they're used to.
Auburn is 4th in the nation in forcing turnovers. They force more than 18 a game. Here's Austin Wiley.
They're on the slip. They're ranked 16th in the nation, though, Tom, averaging 82.4 points per game. They're not even close to being on that pace today.
No, way off. And part of that comes from points off turnovers. The other part is the threes. They're trying to set an SEC record for threes made per game. There's Aaron Nesmith. Nesmith, same guy. He's got 7.
And that's part of what Bryce Drew's alluding to. Foundation, culture, giving the opportunity to experience this. No player wants to experience 0 for 11. But can it create a...
In the offseason, Rick Barnes had him working out immediately after the season ended. And that foundation and that hard work has paid off. Auburn and Tennessee shared the SEC regular season title last year. Harper, no. Even though Auburn got the head-to-head win. Auburn fans want to make sure that's pointed out. Here's Ryan.
And they both get it. Both of them in the Final Four. Obviously, Calipari's won it, but the job that Rick Barnes has done at Tennessee's been sensational. Motivation off that LSU controversial finish there at the end of that game. Clearly, a goaltending was not called on the floor, not reviewable. I give the edge, and I go with Tennessee getting the victory on the road today.
Kentucky has never lost 2 in a row at home under John Calipari. I'd like to challenge you on one of yours, though. From a defensive standpoint, Kentucky's worked really hard over the last 5 weeks, doing a better job stopping the ball, but their inability to do it cost them the LSU game, where people lose sight of on the goaltending calls. Keldon Johnson didn't stop the ball. And number 2, Tennessee has one of the best in the business of breaking down the dribble, and that, of course, is Jordan Bone. 3-ball Nesmith.
And a lead for Vanderbilt. Again, let's think about this. You mentioned they haven't lost back-to-back home games under Calipari. You know the last time as an AP top 10 team that Kentucky lost back-to-back games? And they've been in the AP top 10 a lot.
Yeah, give it to me.
I think needs to be looked at the end of the season. If we can go and review whether or not your foot's on the line and whether it's a 3 or a 2, you should be able to look at something like that.
Jared Harper with the interception. Auburn the other way. Here's Bryce Brown playing with 2 fouls. Whoa! He got hacked and no whistle, and he's not very happy about it. I don't know about you. I would like to see him go to the FIBA rule when it comes to goaltending, where you can take it off the rim after it makes contact. And that would make it really easy. Officials have a hard time following basket interference calls, especially on plays right underneath the rim, because generally their eyes are below the rim watching for contact or watching for the restricted arc. Auburn with the board. Here's Chuma Okeke. 2-on-2. And the whistle will go.
They're not looking exactly where that ball is at that moment. Get it right. Rule 11 does not allow them to get that play right. So it has to be addressed.
And I agree with you, because there is no other call in basketball that directly impacts a score. Right? You got all these other rules that we look at. That one directly impacts whether or not a basket counts. Vandy with the lead, despite the fact that they turned it over 7 times. Here's Saban Lee inside. Missed the bunny. Vandy gets another chance. Neesmith has it rejected.
Got him the ball, and by that time the defense was able to recover. Made that shot a lot more difficult than it needed to be. And that's a busted play.
Taken away by Okeke. And fouled on his way in, and a hard. Newton's pretty popular on the Plains. Sign up now, download the ESPN app, or visit ESPN.com. You know which one I watched last night was the feature that they did on the Florida teams that won back-to-back national titles. And Lee Humphrey, their fantastic shooter, who's now a radio analyst for the Florida radio team. By the way, the reason Lee Humphrey did not end up at Tennessee, he grew up right outside of Knoxville, is because they signed Dane Bradshaw instead. And Lee Humphrey ended up setting the NCAA record for postseason threes. Simisola Shitu inside.
Still have a couple more. That's the strength of the SEC. When you, that's where you look at teams like Arkansas and some of these. The SEC is so good this year that you're going to have the opportunity to get a ton of quadrant 1 wins potentially.
Sure.
And Georgia was 2. Arkansas is a quadrant 2.
Failings. In fact, a couple of SEC teams are hurt by that, because they had a big win early in the season against Washington, and now it's almost meaningless.
Mike Hopkins would disagree. Look at this. Oh, we got the football play. They run the football play. They went spread option. Omaha. Omaha. Oh,
easy, Peyton.
Please tell me the telestrator is working now, because I want to do. That was the great play. I love Bryce Drew doing that.
He's a fan of drawn up out of bounds plays. A play pacer that they ran when he was at Valpo. Beat Ole Miss and won an NCAA tournament game. Here's Saban Lee short on the jumper. By the way, Simisola Shitu has 3 personal fouls at this point in the game.
That's fine. This is why it's fine. Go 7 yards out and button hook.
Take a left at the Oldsmobile. Shot blocked by Neesmith. Vandy with a chance to take the lead. Neesmith for 3. Offensive board again, and then lost by the door. Yes, I agree.
Okay, thank you. All right, now, he didn't go wildcat. There was no RPO action there.
What do you do on Saturdays in the fall? You want to hang with me and Jordan Rogers?
Yes. Can I do that one time? We do crossover events for everything. I'd love to do a crossover with you at football.
That'd be wonderful.
Just as long as you promise not to tackle me as hard as you tackle Jordan Rogers. You get joy from bringing him pain during the college football season. You don't like him, do you?
I love him, and I just wanted to see if I could mess up his hair. It is impossible.
Yeah, that is impossible.
Ryan thought about a deep 3. Vandy's +8 on the glass. Ryan for the triple. Vandy's always loved bigs who can shoot, including big Luke Cornett's in the building today.
Yeah, he's getting a workout in when we walked into the gym. He was enjoying his all-star break by working hard here at Vandy.
2-way contract with the Knicks and having success at the next level. He's going to get a big contract this offseason. Brown will be,
so much talk about him coming in, and there's
of his senior year, so 7 months without any.
Your future, you got to start that clock. You got to get to that second contract. It's about actually getting to a place where you can get to a second contract. Because right now, if he was to leave, he would not be drafted in the NBA draft. And he has the opportunity to come back to Vanderbilt and get a lot better because he needs his body right first and foremost. Look, he's playing, he's competing, it's getting closer and closer, but he's not the same player he was before the injury.
Let me ask you from his development standpoint and what's next from it. Should he rise to the level of being able to make it to the next level? Will he ever be a back-to-the-basket guy?
No.
Okay.
So and he doesn't have to be. But look at the advancements of a P.J. Washington from his freshman year to where he's at now. I mean, P.J. Washington is clearly a much better prospect to the NBA by coming back and getting better. You've got to coach him, Bryce Drew. He's played in the NBA. He knows what it takes to get there.
Bryce is a great scorer of Valpo. 2,000-point scorer, playing for his dad Homer. He's in the building again today, as he always is. Vandy's turned it up defensively. Auburn's only made one of their last 13. They've gone almost 7 minutes without a field goal now. Allowing the Doors to take the lead. Remember, Vandy does not have an SEC win this season. 0-11 in the league. Ryan guarded by Harper will shoot over the top of him.
Well, too often we have guys leave our game that aren't ready to go, Tom.
Malik Dunbar for 3.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Too often we see guys that they want to declare, and I get it. You're chasing your dream, and I'm all for going after your dream. But do you want to be there for a cup of coffee, or do you want to have a long career? Do you want to give yourself the best opportunity to be successful? Not everybody's a one and done, and that's okay. Buddy Hield stuck around in college. I think it's worked out okay for him in the Sacramento Kings.
I love the P.J. Washington comparison. 3 balls left short. Vandy with another offensive board. It's their 6th. Look at rest easy. Jay Billis did 94.
50% from beyond the arc. Now the comparison can be made to Paul George with this simple mindset. They utilize him everywhere. When they need a bucket, they find a way to get P.J. Washington the ball, whether it's out on the wing for him to drive, coming off of the screen and slipping.
That's where Tennessee came from behind to notch the win. They ended up taking both from the Cats.
Rick Barnes has never lost to Kentucky in Thompson-Boling Arena. However, this one's in rough. They did win there last year, as you mentioned, Tom.
First of 2 matchups this season, maybe 3, maybe 4. They can find each other in the postseason trail. Lee had it poked away. Auburn with the run out. Malik Dunbar dunks it home. Auburn takes the lead with under a minute to go in the first half.
I think if you're Bruce Pearl right now, the fact that you have a lead when you have shot the ball as poorly as they have in the first 20 minutes, you feel really good about where you're at.
Joe Toy, limited minutes in the first half, gives it back. Trying to run off another screen.
By the way, Tom, I have confirmed there is food in the media room for you since you were so hungry in the first half.
Matt Ryan off the mark. Javon McCormick finds Harper, and he gets fouled.
You want to change that mentality. The NCAA tournament is not played
in his career. He was kind of a Kid Rock lookalike, wasn't he? Broadway?
He'll probably be there at the SEC tournament, right?
Might be. Ryan gets it in. Shot clock turned off. Largest lead of the game for Auburn, up 4.
Both coaches will go to the locker room. Both coaches will be able to talk about some things positive and obviously some things negative. You're Auburn, you got to try to get better shot selection. You got to be able to get higher percentage shots and looks. You're Vanderbilt, you got to value the basketball a little bit more.
Clock winding down at the buzzer. It is blocked, and a clean one for Javon McCann from 2.
Improv classes, by the way, very good at Auburn. Did you know that?
I see it now. 5 ties, 2 lead changes. Auburn enjoying its largest lead. The largest lead for Vandy was 3.
Look, the biggest thing for Vandy, they got to take care of the ball. 10 turnovers in the first half, Tom. Led to those 6 points you mentioned off of turnovers. 0 points off of turnovers for Vandy.
For the 2nd consecutive game, Auburn's been forced into a slowdown matchup. Neesmith with the shot clock winding down. And the Doors chase down the loose ball. Here's Saban Lee. And Malik Dunbar home.
Oh, great pass.
Nice look. Overseas or worse.
Right, he's not a top 60 pick, period. So if you look, if there was a 20 next to his name as a prospect, you go get paid.
Wow, Bruce Pearl not happy. Cleavon Brown came from out of bounds to find that loose ball.
Is Bruce out of the coaching box?
We laughed with Bruce about that before the game. He got a technical in the LSU. It was a technical, right?
Yeah.
He had been warned once and got teed up. It's a extended coaching box here at Memorial Gym. They've changed that over the years, so coaches can go just shy of midcourt, really, with the benches on the baseline. And Sean, I think to clarify once again, you and I both, we're all for players who have an opportunity for a pro career to get there and make your money.
Look, I think if you're 18, you should be able to go. NBA referees on the Twitter sphere contest. What is your favorite?
The stage for all of the dunk contests.
All right,
But Dominic got robbed.
okay, there you go. You have to make sure you throw that in. To me, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but the best individual performance I've ever seen at a dunk contest was Vince Carter in 2000. The innovation that we had never seen.
Put his entire forearm in the rim. Dunked it with his elbow. Here's Bryce Brown.
How do you think Zion's going to do next year in that competition? The officials sit there and they get a... Mark Whitehead right now somewhere is judging somebody.
Looking, judging, looking.
Look, these guys do a great job, and it is tough on a consistent basis. But that's one where you're looking at. I don't see anything there. Just play it on.
Pat Driscoll, Olandis Poole, and Byron Jarrett. Our crew today. Saban Lee dishes off the drive. Shumo Kiki gives it up to Harper. A blur into the front court, and the basket will not count. We go to
that foul occurred. For Auburn, getting to the free throw line is key. They sometimes struggle on the road. They don't get as many free throw attempts. And Bruce Pearl was talking about that last night. He said, why is it that you struggle on the road so much more than you do at home? And he said it's ended up taking a lot more free throws. Well, that has not been the case. So that's what's allowed Auburn to get a 5-point lead.
Okiki's three in and out. By the way, with Bruce and his son Steven shouting instructions with Auburn going that direction. Bruce brought up a great point last night that I'd never considered here at this gym. And we got a whistle on.
It's the largest coaching box that they have in college basketball. You can work the baseline all the way up to your normal positioning on the sideline.
You can get your cardio in.
Okay, if you're a coach and you're coming all the way up on the sideline, look how far Bryce Drew is away from his bench. He can't communicate with his assistants. They can't communicate with him. So it does present challenges for the coaches as much as it does the players.
Yanni Wetzel with the bucket. Here's Bryce Brown. Transition three. And Auburn trying to find the shooting touch on the road. Six-point lead for Bruce Pearl's team.
Look how much he's walking. Coming all the way up the floor. Said he didn't get his workout in before the game. He's got his workout in this game.
And the foul right, just flashed the wrong number. Brown dumps it inside. Quick move Okiki. An air ball. Wiley kept it alive. Neesmith. Push off.
I'm kind of too big to do the pogo stick thing. I think I'd be just awkward. Wouldn't look right.
You pogo sticker? So same as life, probably. Here's Harper.
No, that's as awkward as my dance move.
Break that leg. High performance pogoing at halftime here at Memorial Gym.
My dance move's not featured at halftime.
They are not high performance. Vandy running. Up and under. Block. Wiley came up with it.
It was a pivotal 5-minute stretch for Vanderbilt. A couple calls have gone against their way. We got to get back to executing and being us. Great play.
Auburn pounds it inside. Yanni Wetzel comes up with a block. Wiley's still trying to knock off the rush after being out with a lower leg injury for 4 games.
Have to be able to finish that one though, Tom. too deep a position not to get a better, cleaner look.
Matt Ryan straight ahead three. His second triple. Vandy's made it a one-possession game 5 minutes into the half.
And that's what I'm talking about coming out of timeout. Get the ball in your scorer's hands. Give them a good, clean look. Get the crowd back on your side in a positive energy.
Whistle. Offensive foul. On a regular bachelorette party weekend here in Nashville. Neesmith leaked out. Pinned! Unbelievable block by Dunbar. Auburn the other way. Harper the lob. Oh, Spencer. We got all the Auburn fans on their feet. And they are well represented in Memorial Gym today.
If that dunk gets finished, that whole stretch ends up on Sports Center later tonight. Instead, we just get really excited and not a lot happened.
Story of my life. Here's Lee. And he gets, I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
That was awesome.
Lee in the corner, Brown wanting a double.
We'll go back to Ryan. Try to free Ryan up. He's going to fill from behind there. No, he's snuck back down to the bottom.
Neesmith gives it up. 1 on the shot clock. Didn't get it off in time.
Pass the ball off to your teammate. Well, they've got no chance at being successful.
Harper for 3. A little bit of contact. And he's got 8 here on his second triple. 10th in school history now. 179 career three-pointers for the 5'10" Jared Harper.
And some more points coming off of turnovers. It was a dead ball turnover, but still led to an opportunity. Empty possession one end, get a 3 at the other end. And timeout. Bryce Drew's got to get
Charles Barkley's coach and signed the first McDonald's All-American in Auburn history. Frank Ford. It took him to 4 straight NCAA tournaments and an Elite 8. Corner 3 is off the mark.
You know,
Sonny and I used to work together in this old show on CSS. 3-ball. Harper, good.
I've covered the SEC now for 5 years. I had to learn a lot about this conference, and I've enjoyed every second of it.
Hey, you've really ingrained yourself. I love it.
If I could just move within the conference footprint, that'd be great too.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have those Sky Miles. His partner Ron Bramlett, by the way. I love them in the Muppets. They used to be up in the balcony. Second row catch.
With some contact. His wife came in. She wanted to catch the ball. She went through him and initiated the contact.
It's a lot of, it's like a baseball field. There's a lot of foul territory to get it into the stands here.
Baseball program here is really strong.
Yep. One last night on the road, neutral site out in Phoenix against Virginia. #1 team in the country, Tim Corbin's Vandy squad. Yanni Wetzel has a bucket. There might be a comp made for Yanni Wetzel to Luke Cornett. Big guy who can shoot a little bit. Loose ball, Spencer to Dunbar.
Now, Purefoy's got to get that up on the rim, though. And those are the kind of shots that you want him taking, but give it a chance. You got to get it there.
Here's Purefoy. Right into the hands of Harper. First miss from deep this half.
Vanderbilt extremely lucky. You gave Auburn 3 or 4 looks in that single possession.
Auburn only has 4 paint points in this game. Turned over. Harper working on Wetzel. Wow, what a jam. It won't count for Malik Dunbar. Got to be huge.
And then I love the game changers. Admiral Schofield and P2 is going to be can't miss television tonight. Both very emotional players, too.
Battle perhaps for #1 overall national seed. And with that, the geographic advantage it would come with playing in the Louisville regional, which would be big. Not just for Kentucky, but also for Tennessee. Tennessee 23-1. Their net is 4. KPI 9. Strength of record 3. Everything is off the charts good for Tennessee. And what could be their best season in school history. And Sean, they've never been to a Final Four before.
That's going to change. Kara Lawson's going to be in Minnesota if she can, but she's going to be at the women's Final Four, so I know she can't.
She'd love to be there.
Big seeds. And Howie's been also in himself. So long people were talking, why aren't you getting top 50 recruits? Where's our top 100 guys? And he just kept going out and recruiting to his strength and understanding the strength of his team and the program that he wanted to build, his vision. And because of it, now you see it paying off.
Prior to Bruce Pearl getting to Rocky Top, they'd never been #1. They got that ranking when they knocked off Calipari's Memphis team, then gave it back up. That
we get critical of Bruce Pearl's program. You know, I don't think people were real critical of Auburn basketball prior to Bruce Pearl's arrival because they were at the bottom of the SEC.
Yeah, I think your point is that they're held to a higher standard now. The expectations have changed.
And with expectations, yeah, we get a little bit more critical, but those are the expectations you want if you're a coach. Those are the expectations that allow you to go out and continue to recruit at an extremely high level.
Yeah, I think now Auburn isn't judged against whether or not they're a tournament team. It's can they be like this since 1979 is
play tournament opponents and win a second game of the weekend. I think they can win their first game of the NCAA tournament, but depending upon the matchup, it could be really hard for them to execute and win that way on the road.
Yeah, because if you're a 7 or an 8, which is where they project right now, you're going to be facing a #1 or #2 seed in your second game.
Now, if they get hot from 3 and they hit 16 three-point shots and they turn them over 15, 16 times, then, yeah, you give yourself a chance.
Well, they could shoot anybody in the country out of a game. Right. We know that.
And look what they did to Washington. I talked to Mike Hopkins, and they said, how'd that win kind of get you to where you're at right now in the Pac-12? This is prior to their loss against Arizona State last week. And he said, listen, it exposed us. It humbled us. They dismantled Washington by 22 points.
Washington was a top 25 team at the time. They've rebounded nicely with their Pac-12 play. But playing well in the Pac-12 is kind of like saying you have the best fajitas in Fargo. Neesmith for 3. He's got 18 coming off a 26-point performance last time out. 6-point game. You've been to Fargo, right? Here's Spencer.
North Dakota is one of the few states I've yet to.
You've been to South Dakota. You've been to the Pentagon.
Sioux Falls.
Chitu was looking to spin on Purifoy. Oh, line left to Wetzel.
Okay, see, that's where you look at him and go, okay, yeah, you can be an NBA guy. I mean, that's just great awareness. Beautiful find.
Bruce Pearl out today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com.
And the thing about ESPN Plus is, too, you saw him the other night, John Morant. Yeah. ESPN Plus is basically his home for the remainder of the season. You had him on the E2 game.
Right. But Caroline.
And ESPN Plus is, I've enjoyed, he's about to break 3,000 career points. Mark, I mean, that is tremendous.
Morant playing Eastern Kentucky on ESPN Plus tonight. Clemens, 5'9" guard, has a 44-inch vertical, now 9th all-time in scoring, past Danny Manning and Oscar Robertson in the midweek win for the Campbell Camels.
That's pretty good. 2 names pretty good to pass on an all-time scoring list.
Yeah. Danny Manning, not so much luck coaching today. Shot clock winding down. Vandy doesn't realize Neesmith has his shot blocked at the shot clock buzzer. Wake trailing North Carolina. Wake only scored 21 points in the first half. Danny Manning's team. What's your take on North Carolina? They're kind of under the radar.
They're emerging as a team that has the potential to get to a Final Four. I think Kobe White has been as good as any guard as far as the improvement you've seen over the course of the season. Nice throw up and lob by a very good guard here, Jared Harper.
Anthony McLemore on the finishing end.
Nasir Little, they got some talent down there. Now Luke May, continues to do what Luke May does, especially against ranked opponents. His numbers not as great this year overall, but actually up against top 25 opponents versus where they were against top 25 opponents last year.
And a strong beard game. Neesmith went to 3s.
Now, how good has Auburn been defensively in this game?
Austin in the low country. Had 26 when he went head-to-head with Zion. Wetzel extends his D. Bryce Brown will drive. And he flips it off the win. Figures for Bryce Brown. over the back.
Turn the ball over. You mentioned 17 turnovers. You foul, you take away your opportunity to get
times. They don't have that one guy
to miss and getting the ball back to give it up to the front end of a one-on-one.
So Yanni Wetzel, the former second-team All-Heartland Conference performer at the Division II level, has brought Vandy within 5. Javon McCormick. Here's Okiki. Double team off of Wetzel's knee. Vandy doesn't pick it up immediately.
How do you do that? Bouncing in the middle of the floor and nobody's getting it. You got 3 guys around it just staring.
Deep 3, Brown. Got it! Bryce Brown with a triple.
So instead of being a 1-possession game, it's now a 3-possession game with 6 minutes left to go.
Neesmith lost it. It almost went in. Loose ball. Neesmith on the floor for it. And got a foul.
You know, it's like Mensa smart.
You will free throw line. First team to wear Skechers will make college basketball history. 6-point deficit for the home team, the Vanderbilt Commodores, who have yet to win a conference game in 11 tries. Right down Broadway, and a foul on
Went a great play call by Bruce Pearl, which is what Vanderbilt did on that possession to allow Okiki to get to the free throw line.
He's in double figures now. Matt Ryan didn't look too pleased with his teammates on the defensive assignment. Was seemingly busted. Deep inbounds to Wetzel. By the way, they've just gone final in Winston-Salem. North Carolina beat Wake by 38, the largest margin of victory in the 227-game history of the series.
Good way to bounce back into North Carolina after that home loss to Virginia.
Lead, leans in, draws a foul. Let's count.
Then the San Francisco 49ers as well.
Well, then that wouldn't be 0.
Right.
So maybe he should be wearing 4 or 5.
You're burying the lead, though.
Scooby-Doo fruit snacks?
Yeah. Highly underrated. That and Gushers.
I was going to go Gushers. 6-point game again. Vandy just hasn't been able to get stops when they've needed it.
Oh, that's a hold. And Bryce Brown wrapped his arm around the leg of Toy.
Brown playing a one-man game. Never gave up the basketball and put up an air ball. Lee finds it. 3-on-1 break. Push ahead. Toy. And a finger roll to make it a 4-point game. First bucket for Toy is a big one. Closest it's been in 10 minutes.
They're trying to post up Okiki. They're going to need to help. They do.
Beautiful look. Spencer with a jump hook.
Let's see what happened, though. You got to help off Spencer. Great awareness by Okiki to find his fellow big. Number one thing when you get doubled is where did the double come from? That's the guy that's open.
As much as Auburn is a 3-point shooting team, they're also a great assist team, averaging 15 a game. Loose ball, scooped up by the Tigers. Auburn running the floor. Harper, blind look, and an easy bucket for Dunbar. What a great look. Fantastic vision, but that's a compliment.
I appreciate that.
Legler's the best. You're right on his heels.
Legler's lad can't miss television on Sports Center.
He broke down John Morant a couple of nights ago after Murray State escapes Clarksville and RCP with a close victory. Neesmith, no. Yanni Wetzel out of Auckland, New Zealand is into double figures. Former Division II player at St. Mary's in San Antonio. Prior to that, a surfer in his native New Zealand. Jared Harper, nothing doing. And Wetzel finds a board.
Plenty of time here for Vanderbilt. Obviously, we're talking 2 possessions. They get the stop. Now you need to get the shot. All right, and it's got to be a good look. Obviously, you want to make the shot. That goes without saying when you're trailing by 6. But they got to get a clean look. That's more important than anything else right now. You get a hold away from the ball.
Floor. He's got 22 points. Fruits. I don't know what that is, but it works. And Neesmith goes 2 for 2.
Those guys are going to be CEOs someday soon, Tom. I wouldn't say anything. Hey, fellas, it works. I'm listening. I thought it was great.
Brown looking inside.
There's the double again.
Skip out to Dunbar. Got his feet set. Left it short. Look who's on the boards. It's Brown. Another offensive board. Dunbar couldn't finish. And finally, Matt Ryan finds it. Ryan, transition, gives it up. Vandy down 4. Where would you like him to go to?
I'd like to see Neesmith get an opportunity to drive and attack. Set an on-ball screen for him right here. Come get it. There he goes. And you see, he's too passive. He's got to attack that. You got to know they're in the double bonus. If he attacks McLemore coming out there, that's going to be a foul.
Shot clock's at 5. Saban Lee turns it over. Vandy was right there once again.
You cannot be passive coming off of a screen. McLemore jumped out. He had no defensive legal guarding position. Go into him, force the official to make the call. Neesmith would have had it.
19 turnovers for the Doors. Auburn patient on offense, working the clock. Tigers average 82 points a game. Once again, they'll be held well below their season average. Dunbar from the corner. Got it! Contested 3. 9th 3 for Auburn today.
You got to go. You got to go. You're trailing by 7 here with a minute. You got to move quicker.
Neesmith, no. Tip, no. And then poked out of bounds.
Primary defensive player, but the secondary defensive player creates a lot of opportunities for Auburn.
Auburn 4th in the country with 11 threes made per game, trying to set threes a game, but very few people saw it. Games on TV. I agree. What are you doing this afternoon?
Middle Tennessee State? No.
Can you make the drive to Lexington? There's a game there.
I would gladly make that drive.
Plenty of time.
I think Billis has got that under control, though.
A double dip. Under a minute to go. Ryan. Wetzel went down. Ryan chased it down, and a loose ball foul.
19? You said 14.
Oh, it was 19.
Showing, though. They have not given up on their coach. They have not given up on the culture. And for Auburn, you did exactly what you needed to do. You needed to pick up a road win. You needed to build confidence away from the Plains.
Vandy's baseball team got a 2019 victory before their basketball team did. The school record losing streak to 14. That was set in the mid-30s.
The fact that you heard that noise right there from the Auburn faithful, I think out their fans coming up to Nashville, having a good weekend, I'm sure. Probably stopped by the Music Row Happy Hour with my guy Buzz Brainerd. Highway XM56.
Probably did. Maybe they made it to the Opry.
Old Dominion was at the Ryman last night.
Thanks for the invite.
Didn't go.
3 ball. See my guys halfway to Hazard. They'll be dialed in for the Kentucky game tonight. 64-53 will be the final.
It's a great day of college basketball. First win in this building since 2000 for the Auburn Tigers. The SEC is the focal point of the country tonight. Kentucky, Tennessee, Saturday.